Facebook. It's your girl, Raushawna Price, Giver of Awesomeness here. And I just have to say that I'm excited because I've been doing a lot of studying and looking at avalanches. I don't know if you know this or where you are in the country or the world when you're watching this, but in the U.S. and Colorado area, this has been a deadly season, and it's sad. And I don't know the families personally, but those who have lost loved ones or that have been in the tragedies around some of the avalanches here recently, it shakes me and it makes me think. And so when I think, I then go and research or study or watch videos, etc. And I've learned a couple of lessons from the avalanches and the things that I have been reading. So I wanted to share them with you today, because maybe they'll help you as you are in the middle of your process, in the middle of your journey towards walking out what your purpose is, going through a hard place. Maybe you're in a situation where you're uncertain as to what your future looks like. Maybe these lessons that I've learned from the avalanche will help you. So let me use my great board here and this is like a mountain. Go with me, right? This is the peak and we've got snow. And when an avalanche happens that is uncontrolled, so there's no explosion that happens, because they do actually do that, where they set off a series of explosions one by one to allow the snow to fall when no one is actually on the slopes. It's a controlled way to release the snow after there's been a heavy fall and there's a lot of snow. So that's what's supposed to happen or should happen. Either way, whether it's an explosion or natural, the avalanche and the snow starts to move underneath the surface first. And then the momentum carries it to where you start to feel it and it takes you. It's underneath first. It's underneath. So that's lesson number one that I learned from the avalanche that applies to every part of my life and maybe even yours when it comes to walking out what you want to see in your life, looking towards how you're going to create the life you want, live out your awesomeness, give it to the world around you. It starts underneath. The second thing that I learned about avalanches is that sometimes they can be unpredictable. Unpredictable. I think that's how you stickable. You get that, right? Unpredictable. That means you don't really know when it's happening. That's how it feels sometimes when you're in the midst of a journey, a life change, something that you want to happen, and you have a plan in place, and then the plan goes awry. It doesn't go the way you thought. It's unpredictable. The unpredictability of it is letting you know you're in the middle of something. It's like a star. It's a star. It's like, oh, this is the thing that I'm actually doing, even though maybe you didn't even know you were doing it. People that get stuck in avalanches, when they're here, right? When they're here and it's happening under the surface, they don't necessarily know it right away, until all of a sudden they're starting to fall. Those who've survived have what they call an air balloon around them. It's kind of like an airbag that actually puffs up and allows them to stay up above the surface of the snow, or they're able to be higher up so they don't get actually buried in the snow. So it kind of creates this air and this balloon around them. The women that I saw that were being dug out, they had those around them, and so the rescuers could find them quicker. So the third thing is to have some protective gear on your journey. Have protective gear. That's right. Have protective gear. That could be things that you're wearing, things that you put on. For me and my journey, the Bible and the Word of God, the promises that He's given me, my journal are all protective gear that I use along my journey. So when it's unpredictable and I'm not so quite sure, when it's happening around me and I'm unclear, I go back to the things that I've written, the things that I've read that keep me grounded and keep me afloat. and above all of the changing things that are happening around me. And the last thing that an avalanche and all of the studying and all of the things that I've learned to help me really trust the process, and I wanted to share them with you, is around this concept of hope. That's right, hope. Because for every single person that I was listening to who has had a loved one that's been in an avalanche, or they themselves have survived, is this concept of hope. That even when they were buried or lost, that they still hoped that they would be able to find their loved one, that they would hope that someone would find them for those that were buried or that were wanting to survive. That hope was the difference maker. That hope, even if the news was bad, the hope that the families had is what helped them connect with other people and endure the process of looking, of waiting, of worry. And that is what you can have with you, is this hope that no matter what happens, the avalanche that might be happening even in your life right now, and maybe it's under the surface, or maybe it's already starting to take you and you feel like you're falling, if you have the understanding that it is unpredictable, so you can get the protective gear in place and keep your hope, you'll be in a better place to endure the process, to trust the process, to endure the journey, and to learn something along the way. And then maybe you'll pass along your avalanche learnings, just as I have today. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Leave your comments below. If you want more training videos from me, make sure you join my free Facebook group. giverofawesomeness.org is where you can find it. That's giverofawesomeness.org. I'm your girl, Raushawna Price, Giver of Awesomeness. I'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.